What's happening, film nerds? Dave the Film Junkie here. Well, geez. I've been working, kind of a new position at my job, so I'm not sitting at my desk all the time. And, it's a good thing because I can disconnect from Twitter and everything. So but the only thing that sucks is I miss things that happened, during the day. And, something definitely happened, and it got released about 3 hours ago on The Wrap. By Mr. of course, Scoopy Pants and somebody else. It was like a joint thing. Basically finding out information that's been going on behind the scenes that has to do with Justice League, a.k.a. the Frankenstein superhero movie! I think we all got a sense of that. And like I said, the people who are defending the absolute shit out of Warner Brothers and the people behind the scenes, even Whedon, everything, we all feel cheated. We all feel goddamn cheated. That's one of the reasons why when I walked out of that private screening of Justice League that I saw on the Warner Brothers lot, I felt like I got punched in the goddamn gut. Not only did I feel bad for Zack Snyder, but I just felt cheated because of all the defending that I do on this channel. And you guys do it too. And it sucks that, we were defending and we were thinking that these bloggers, some of them are still assholes. I get that, the way that they present themselves. But they, a lot of the things that they said were like, hey, yeah, their sources were kind of right. Now we have this. And you can read it. I'll post it down below. It's a good article. It's not that long. One of the things that pisses me off about this information, and one of the things I defended because I was going, there's no way in hell a studio would have such significant reshoots and everything with a mustache, with everything, reshooting half the movie. There's no way that a studio would reshoot half the movie and still have that November 17th release date. I said that time and time again, and this paragraph right here is what really set me off. One executive told The Wrap, Sugihara and Emmerich wanted to preserve their bonuses they would be paid before the merger, talking about the AT&T merger, and were worried that if they pushed the movie, then their bonuses would have been pushed to the following year, and they might not still be at the studio. Well, how about that shit? Those two are to blame for what we got, guys. I know a lot of people keep going after Jeff Johns, and I keep seeing it, and I'm going, you know what, I'm not going to, until some information, and nothing really about Johns right here. There's nothing in this article that talks about Jeff Johns. That's why I'm like, relax on the Jeff Johns bashing, okay? The guy went from just writing comic books, making comic books, and now he's leading DC Films and trying to help with the television series and everything like that. That's why I'm just like, I'm not going to point the finger at him. It's these fucking assholes that are running Warner Brothers. They are to blame. There's a lot of things in this article talking about Batman vs. Superman, of course, and the response to Batman vs. Superman, how it started off strong and then it immediately dropped, didn't resonate with like the audience out there. And then Warner Brothers just straight up wanted to emulate. They wanted to have the success that Avengers had. So, of course, they brought on Joss Whedon. And, apparently it even says in here that Snyder did approve it. I don't think he personally asked like we originally thought it was. Like, he went to Whedon and said, hey, help me out here. But no, there was a little clashing right there because, you saw the movie. Man. They basically, Mr. Silverman over here, an individual that has the deep knowledge of the studio, says Silverman didn't read offer notes on Snyder's scripts. Another describes their attitude as remarkably, Jesus Christ. Basically they sent John Berg, to overlook the shooting, make sure that everything was okay with the budget, and then also with, when it came down to it, they felt that firing Snyder, that getting rid of Snyder would just look bad. And then, of course, they wouldn't preserve their damn bonuses and everything like that. So these assholes really just, they put Snyder under the microscope. And then what also just makes me my blood boil is I feel that when the tragedy that happened with Snyder's family, with his daughter committing suicide, I feel like these guys they probably went, oh, that really sucked for you, Snyder, but they probably behind the scenes, they're probably, this is our out. I would not be surprised. These greedy pieces of shit. I would not be surprised if they just saw that as an opportunity like, yes, Yes, we can finally get rid of him. I mean, that's what it just screams that. It just screams that. You know, and it's so funny too, because, you know, with Batman vs Superman, with Man of Steel, with everything, with Watchmen, with stuff that Snyder has done, I'm telling you, the man is ahead of his time. He really is, because it's just Christopher Nolan, okay? Critically acclaimed, can't make a bad movie, even if he tried, you know, the perfect storyteller, who everybody loves. Christopher Nolan said that Watchmen was released too early. He's absolutely right. It just seems that Watchmen, Man of Steel, and then eventually Batman vs Superman, the ultimate cut, it's just going to be looked back on, especially Batman vs Superman. I guarantee you, like 5 years from now, when the Marvel Studios formula is finally just wearing super thin and it's just not working anymore, everybody's going to go to those movies and be like, yeah, that's a lot better. Even myself, when I watch Man of Steel now, I'm just going, geez, man, every time I watch this movie, it just moves up. It moves up in my list of favorite CBMs, man. It really does. Same with Watchmen. It's just, it's crazy. You know, you have James Cameron talking about how he created a new cinematic language, and you have Christopher Nolan, who handpicked Snyder to do Superman, because Warner Brothers wanted Nolan to do Superman, to reboot Superman after what happened with Dark Knight. He said, no, I don't want to do it, but said, hey, look at this guy over here, trust him. And then, of course, the reason why Man of Steel is the firstborn that's untouched, that nobody messed with, is because Nolan was going, hey, no. I know you're not liking where he's going with this, but trust me. And I know I'm like all over the place on this, guys. I'm sounding like, you know, It's just reading on everything. It all makes sense, especially with what we got. I mean, because it definitely is it's ridiculous, because in order for these two fuckheads on the top of Warner Brothers to save their bonuses, essentially, to make sure they got that extra scratch at the end of the year, they not only cheated Snyder, but they cheated Henry Cavill the most, for sure, for that fucking fuck job they did on his face. Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, the list goes on. Okay? And then they cheated the core audience that they actually had with Man of Steel, Batman, and Batman vs Superman. It's so weird. You know, and you could tell me, you know, there's going to be some fuckheads that are going to say, like, oh, you're such a Snyder shill. You're a Snyder shill. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Tell me what Christopher Nolan and James Cameron, tell me what they have said about this man. Okay? That's all you need to say. When somebody calls you a shill, say that, okay? And if they're praising Joss Whedon, what has Chris Nolan and James Cameron said about that guy? Jack shit. I mean, it's so weird. It's just very strange, you know? Sorry that that we like a director that when you watch a movie, you go, yeah, he that's his signature. That's him. That's him right there. I mean, yes, given Michael Bay, you can also almost fully tell when a Michael Bay, but you know what? That's why that guy's successful. I'm sorry. I do like directors that have their own specific style. They're not like all these other ones, okay? And, you know, I mean, I'll use Michael Bay as, you know, I don't really necessarily like all his movies. Some movies are fantastic, and, you know, his little formula is now wearing thin too. But, you know, let's just throw that out. But when it comes to Zack Snyder, the reason why he is one of my favorite directors is because he's unique. You could tell the movie is his. And if you want to call me a shill, then fine. I'm a Zack Snyder shill. But like I said, tell me what Christopher Nolan and James Cameron said about the man, okay? James Cameron, who is one of the biggest filmmakers of all time, has made the biggest movies of all time, told everybody that he invented a new cinematic language. Christopher Nolan, critically acclaimed, like I said, doesn't seem like he can make a bad movie. Everybody loves him. Handpicked him and supported him when it came to Man of Steel. I just wonder what he has to say about what's happening right here and what happened with Justice League. I don't know. I've been talking for way too long, guys. I apologize, and I apologize for being all over the place. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And it just makes me upset. It's like, just if they would have just left him alone, it probably would have been more successful. Justice League would have been more successful, I think, than what has happened. Look at the current box office. It's not by far, it's not a flop. Still going to reach a $500 million, not a flop. But still, it's all just greed and just bullshit, man. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about it down below. What do you think about all this? Sorry if I'm rambling way too long. Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the other channel too. Follow me on the social media stuff floating above my head. Shirts too, guys. Talk to you later.